I'm back again, and I've been really busy lately, so I don't know what all I'll be saying here and whatnot. I'm trying to focus on the most important stuff that I feel like, so I'll probably go into the more important stuff more than just my whole situation and that kind of thing, like personal stuff. I'm more interested in like telling people specifically what's going on and what they can do to counteract some nonsense and all that going on. And my car door says that there's a car door open. Really? Here we go. Okay, so let's just get into it, because there's a lot of crap going on like usual, and I try to make things simple for people to understand, because right now I feel like we're in a time where what people have been saying for years about things that are coming and how to prepare and that kind of thing is more important than ever by the second, really. You guys didn't know, there's been a lot of stuff going on in other countries that I'm just waiting for them to start pushing over here. And I've said that for a while, way before recently too, about the lack of money, being able to use your money, lack of electricity, basic rights and stuff like that. I expect basically the worst in all of it, because I try to prepare for all of it. So I expect eventually to lose. Most people will lose their rental property, and probably they're going to try to take people's land and stuff like that. I definitely think that there's a lot of people that know what's going on, and they're not going to give up on all of their, situations and whatnot, where they're just going to go along with things and that kind of thing. Both the awake people and the unawake people. The ones who know what's coming and why things are happening, and the ones that are just like, okay, this is ridiculous, we're not doing it. So what I've been telling people at work and whatnot, when I get the chance, which mostly is all day, I have been telling them about how in other countries what they're doing is they're locking bank accounts, they're not letting people use their cards, they're not letting people take money out of their accounts, so on and so forth. It's at the government level, so it's way above the bank's head, so you're not able to really do anything, and the bank's not going to be of much help to you. At that point, basically what happens is everyone who has money in their accounts will no longer have access to their bank. They will no longer have access to all their money, and to access any type of money that they have in a bank account or in general, because I'm sure it'll hit a lot of things. Because I hear some people say, well, I have a credit union. Well, in my opinion, those are the same. To me, those are going to be the same things. It's not cash in your pocket. You're not going to be able to use it. In my opinion, also, what I've been telling people on a basic level, to get as much stuff as you can with your money. That's really important for survival. You can get food that'll last a long time. You can do that online, and you can go and just do at regular stores and that kind of thing. Get canned food, water, anything that you'd use for survival, anything with heating, cooling, that's especially non-electric stuff. I highly recommend as much non-electric stuff as possible. Really anything. There's so many different things that you can get. Batteries, those might last for a little bit. It's very picky on how much we'll have electricity, how much we won't. But if you can get some batteries, get you some batteries, that kind of stuff. Just like basic things that you'd use if something happened, where you'd either lose electricity or just things would change for, like, in a huge way. So, basically, that whole situation, and there's a guy trying to make a turn with a trailer that apparently he can't get in the left-hand lane for because his trailer and crap won't make the turn, I'm guessing. So he basically has to wait for it to be full, or, like, fully available is what I'm trying to say. I literally just woke up and I'm trying to rush over somewhere, and, this is what I do sometimes. So, yeah, like I've said, if you've heard me, know me, anything like that, for quite a while I've been telling people about food shortages, the general nonsense that's going to be pushed and keep being pushed. I'm going to go because everyone's going around me. I didn't realize that he just parked the car there and he has a turn signal on, not hazards. I thought that he had his turn signal on, which made no sense to me. Like, okay, whatever. So let him go. I want to be like that. Definitely, like I've been saying for a long time, if you can get money, try to get it and use it for things that really matter. Food, supplies, all of that. So on and so forth. Like I've said over and over, I feel like I've said the same things for so long, it's rough. You can look into places like Canada and England that are locking people out of their bank accounts, so then everyone who has money in their bank accounts can't get to them. I can go into why and whatnot, but the main part that I want you to understand is what's happening. I can tell you why later, and it's all, I know what I'm saying is true and whatnot, but I don't need people to be turned off by me saying things that they're going to disagree with and whatnot, and then jeopardize their whole mindset of, I better not listen because that sounds crazy, why this is purposely done, and so on and so forth. Just like when I tell people a few times, you get the people that go, oh, that won't happen here, that can't help it happen, we're too capitalist, we have too many hunting utensils and whatnot. It's like, yeah, that is true. That's one of the really good things about this country is, if you look up China, which I highly recommend looking up what they're doing in China right now, they're not allowed to go outside or anything. And that's exactly what happens when you see this kind of stuff and you go along with it and you don't do anything about it. They lock you in there and they bring people to keep you in there in your homes and whatnot, and then you go outside and go get your test and crap. Like, people have been talking about this stuff for many years, and I've been trying to tell people, and I just want it to be known and understood how ridiculous everything is. And it's very hard to at times to bring up, and it's hard to have this mindset of everyone needs to learn how to survive quickly and use their money wisely and learn how to survive without everything. And there's so many different possibilities and whatnot, but I'm trying to explain specifically some of the things that that I highly think will happen and how it will affect you and everybody else, basically. I think it might be a slow process everywhere, but it's kind of ridiculous how, like in China, they have this situation going on. They're starving people out of food and all of that kind of thing, and it's like, I don't know what to say for these people, because they're just shoved in their homes and stuff like that, or whatever, being guarded. There's been, I think it was Australia was doing that, like way before 2020, I think, even, or right around 2020, early on, and so on and so forth. But that's another thing I can get into, about how nonsensical all of this stuff is. And I can go in so many different directions, but I feel like I've covered that, and I want to do that later anyways. I want to focus on the important stuff, while my mind is having a lot of trouble with moving from one thing to the next and whatnot. I have a very different mindset from a lot of people, of like, when you learn this type of stuff, I don't look at it as a negative at all. I think of it as learning and realistic. And I try to teach people at this point, because I know pretty much what's to happen and whatnot. So the point of me learning more and all that, it's important for me to understand things and be able to tell people and answer questions and whatnot. So that's what I do. And because there's going to be a lot of people that don't know what to do when things happen, and people that don't really understand what's going on, that type of thing, etc., etc. And that kind of thing. And I missed my turn too. It's fine. Another thing is, it's going to be really important to get along with people, because eventually it's going to probably be down to the people to take care of each other and whatnot. And being selfish and all this isn't going to help, because the more people that we can teach, and the more people that understand, and the more people that are helping each other and that kind of thing, the better it's going to be. Because obviously the system is all breaking in like every country. It's not one country. It has nothing to do with this president or this and that, or this fake event, or this or that, or blame this. No one comes up with answers. They just blame and distract and everything. It's wasteful. So, long story short, of that situation, I just was mentioning a few things there. Maybe I'll come back to it at some point. I know it's a lot to take in, but it's stuff I've looked into for many years, and I wouldn't be telling people if I didn't highly agree with, highly recommend things and totally believe that the things that I'm saying are going to happen, and any time now. I can go into explaining what it's like for people that know this kind of stuff and that kind of thing as well. It's just, I try to record when I can. Recently I lost my charger where I would do a lot of my videos. YouTube doesn't censor, or YouTube censors so much stuff. TikTok censors so much stuff. I've tried doing things through Facebook and Twitter. It's mixed, really. A lot of it is, some of these people from high school and whatnot, it takes a lot of work. You gotta friend people, you gotta message people, follow people, this and that. Then they have to actually read it and then acknowledge it. If you message someone, I've been blocked before by people that I've been in relationships with and friends over things like that. And it's like every time I, talk to some of these people, they don't want to listen, and I said my piece. I've tried to say it well. As I grow up, my communication skills and whatnot are better. I can be more concise and explain things better. But when I try to tell people things and they just block me and whatnot, I can't do anything more. So for the most part, I haven't been on Facebook or Twitter in the last year or two, like the last year or so, probably, and about stuff. I'm hoping to get back on there just so people can see things. But I mean, I was saying very true things at the time. It's just whether they said, "Oh, that's a lot to understand," or "I don't want to see that." Well, you're gonna have to want. You're gonna have to learn and whatnot. You're gonna have to be stronger than what you're being, because if you can't come to grips with how reality is, I don't know what you have, because there's going to be a massive shortage amongst food. You know, jobs will be lost, electric will be lost eventually. You won't have a car to work, you won't have a job, you won't have an income. You know, they'll eventually push the microchipping, the mark of the beast type stuff. You do this or you don't. You know, you insert something in your, especially in the Bible, says in the right hand or forehead, you know, about, you know, Satanism and all that kind of crap. You go along with the system, or you don't buy or sell. That means you can't go to the grocery store and whatnot. And that's exactly part of what, you know, the outbreak was about. You know, differing opinions on that. I'm not one of those that really focuses in on that at the moment, but I can go into different topics there. I mean, you can see the mental effect it's had on many people and that kind of thing. And it's pretty ridiculous. Let's see. I mostly know where I'm going, but it's, you know, I'm a couple roads over, so I've got to see where this all connects. I'm trying to stay focused and not go into so many different other topics, because it's very deep and I have a very vast understanding of all this type of thing. But you can tell when everything is changing and whatnot, and nothing's really getting better, and it's the push and pull that you do this, and eventually we'll give you this, and then after that, we're going to take that away and we'll give you this. And if you don't go along with it, we're going to threaten to take your jobs, or we will take your jobs. You know, you can't provide for yourself and your family and have money and that kind of thing, which is absolutely ridiculous, because there's no reason for any of it. You know, elsewise, you know, like nurses and stuff like that, they don't want a part of all this stuff, which many people have covered for a long time. You know, there's the situation in Texas. There's a bunch of the nurses in Texas and New York. They refused to be injected, and so on and so forth, and they took it to the Supreme Court, which is corrupt and all that, like all of them are, and they didn't win. They threw out their their motion within weeks and whatnot. Just like I've told people when they say, "Oh, well, sue them," you know, so on and so forth. You know, I can tell you about how in the books that these people write and read and stuff like that, you know, these people that determine all this stuff and push the agendas and all that, which is basically everyone you see on TV and whatnot. Whether one wants to believe that or not, that's why they're put there, to distract you, to mold your view on things and get you to believe something that isn't real, or believe in something that, you know, believe in something that isn't real, or don't believe in something that is real, you know, type of deal. And bro, I didn't even see you, lady. You almost got hit. My gosh, dude. I'm already driving around here in the dark, trying to figure out where I'm going. And you gotta stay closer to away from the road. I stay away from the road when I'm walking like that. Okay, I think I'm on the right road now, where I'm looking for, maybe. I'm just trying to find the road that I'm hitting. Like I've said, in their books and whatnot, they've had everything really planned out. They've used so many different tricks and things. They know how the mind works. They have experimented on people for years. The give and take, allow this, and then people will go along with things. Or, we're changing this up, or this is a normal now. You're going along with it. We'll slowly change things and change how you think. Like technology, for example. It's, technology is not really good. It's harmful in so many different ways. It's an addiction to people. It's definitely the precursor to, like, the mark of the beast and different things like that. The microchipping system, the cashless society, all of that kind of stuff all has to do with technology, and why everything has to be big, better, faster. People want it. They're never satisfied with what they have technologically. They have to have something different. You have, there's security, like the security on it, the surveillance on it. I could go in so many different directions. The mindset of how it, dumbs people down, makes them mentally weaker, and the distraction. It's like if you have internet and all that on your phone, you have the ability to learn about so many different things that people have spent time learning, teaching and whatnot on there, from how to live, without electricity and that kind of thing, how to make your own stuff, no matter what your position is. Like, if you want to find something, it's on there. So I try my best to do that too, and I don't have a whole ton of time to learn a whole lot of things, but I have a basic understanding of, I need food, I need water, I need to be able to survive here and there. You could go into, if you hunt and fish and whatnot, you can look into how to do more of that kind of stuff. That's good, like canning and stuff like that. I don't know really how to do that kind of stuff either. There's different kinds of foods and whatnot, apparently. There's something called freeze-dried, which I don't know if that's any good without electric, though. There's something called powdered food I've heard of that lasts, like, forever. You can buy bulk food and stuff like that, and know how to store things and rotate out, and, really take care of yourself and whatnot. And I really hope that when something bad happens, it's not just going to be me with a bunch of resources and whatnot, and people not knowing things. And I'm sure people have seen me with extra resources and whatnot, and they're going to be like, oh, this guy, I see him all the time with this and that, and he definitely has stuff to share, and so on and so forth. I don't look forward to that situation at all. Another thing is, I wanted to look into getting some hunting utensils. I'm not real familiar with a lot of that stuff. I've barely used that kind of stuff. I have nowhere to do that kind of stuff at, because I live around towns and whatnot. I'm sure there's places to go. I also live near country and whatnot as well, because I kind of live around a lot of different things, which is pretty cool. Farming, that's a big thing to learn about. Growing food, like planting things, and how to, different things. You can get generators, you can use solar power. Like, there's so many different things that I can recommend for people to look into, and head towards that direction, because once something happens, people are going to need to know what to do. They're not going to have internet. They're not going to have TV. They're not going to have any of this stuff to teach them things. You know, they're not going to be able to go to a library and find books and stuff like that. They're going to rely on what they have and what other people have and that type of thing. I think you're letting me go, pal, which I appreciate. Your big truck that you're not... Oh, you're turning left. Okay, well, either way. So it's a very big deal to learn different things and to pay attention to what's going on and how it's going to affect everyone, affect you. The prices are going to keep going up. There's going to be a shortage of a lot of different things. They keep talking about that, and there's been a shortage. They're going to limit you on what you can buy at the stores, and from there what you're going to need to do is go multiple times to the stores. Go to all the stores that you know and buy stuff out. You know, buy stuff at different stores. If they limit, say you have 2 here, you go to the next store and you get their limit, and you go to the next store and get their limit. If that's the thing. Eventually, what they're going to do is they're going to portion control people. They're going to say you can buy this much and whatnot. You can see that packaging and whatnot. You get a lot less in the packaging that you used to. You know, and prices are through the roof. You're paying more for less, and that's only going to keep going. And you can't look to the government to help you and this and that. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to need the government and whatnot to help them. I'm doing the best I can to be independent of that, because I know what that leads to. I need to be self-sufficient, and I need to be able to try to help people and learn things instead of, I have a bad situation, I need someone to help me type thing. Let me see here. I'm at my destination here, so my video is probably about done, but I really hope that something, you know, what I'm telling people will listen to, and they'll understand, and they'll share content and whatnot. I've given so much information and so many different recommendations that I would recommend. I always recommend a call for an uprising on YouTube. He's got a bunch of different stuff. His active new videos, which all you have to do is look and see the date on them and see when they were published, because he's got multiple channels. You can go and subscribe over there. He's very consistent on things. He talks about all kinds of different esotericism, from the immediate type of food type stuff and resource management and that kind of thing, to just all kinds of different topics, to how to get through all of the nonsense and what you can do to counteract things. A lot of it's just like not going along with a lot of things and knowing what's going to happen and being able to prepare. That's a huge deal. It's a lot more, a lot bigger than all that. But you have to understand that things are done on purpose, and they're going to keep getting worse and whatnot. And it's like, it's been years and people are still doing the same things. They're suffocating themselves in public when nobody has to, which just upsets me. It bothers me. I see a lot of people every day, and they're so used to what they're doing that they do stuff, and it's they put stuff over their face and so on and so forth that they don't need to be doing, that they should have never done in the first place, because that whole situation has led to this. When you give up your rights, more rights get taken, and when your rights are taken, they don't come back. That's why one of the good things is the hunting utensils in the United States. People who have them are better off because they don't have to go along with things as much. They can go out and hunt and fish and live as much as they can off the grid and don't need coddled and so on and so forth. As for protection and whatnot, There's the whole situation of, excuse me here, I have a lot going on here. When someone comes at you and they try to take your stuff and they try to plan this and that for you, like what is there to do besides plan things out and whatnot? It's gonna come to that type of thing, and you're gonna have to be able to do some things. Sometimes you might have to protect yourself, protect your family, protect your friends, so on and so forth, because it's gonna mentally change a lot of things. There's going to be, people will start rioting. There'll be a lot of people coming in to, your area, your home, and so on and so forth, which that's what's kind of the messed up part, is when there's people that are shoved together and whatnot. You can only imagine what's going to happen. Unless you live out in the middle of somewhere, it's going to be hard to do. You're going to be on top of other people for the most part. They can come to your door. They can break your windows and doors and all that kind of stuff. And, there'll be hundreds and whatnot of people that are, they know that they're in the same boat as you. The people that didn't prepare and don't have supplies and whatnot. And what I've been telling people, or they're just gonna, what are they gonna do when there's no food and whatnot? If they don't have food or they don't have their electronics, mentally they're gonna not be too rational. They're not gonna be rational. Some of them, they're gonna, all that situation. So I'm at the spot, sir. Is that all you were calling for? Okay. Alright, well, I'm recording a video, so let me finish that up here. Alright, bye. Okay, so, you have to be able to prepare for, like, all of that kind of stuff. There's going to be a lot of outside forces and stuff that you're going to have to know what to do. And, if it ever comes to where we'll be living off the land and more than just I'm getting food from animals and berries and nature and all that type of stuff, more along the lines of illnesses and cleanliness and uh, uh, dangers and stuff like that. Because you can imagine the kind of stuff that's going to happen, whether controlled or these people who try to live and stuff like that can cause fires and different things like that. Lack of privacy, just so much. It's a very serious thing, and I've come to the conclusion many years ago about this kind of stuff, and I never took it really lightly. I always took it as, well, yeah, that definitely could happen, and it will happen. And I was in the position where, for a long time, I couldn't change a whole lot. So after I could change a whole lot, I tried to stockpile food, learn the different things, exercise, that kind of thing, make sure I'm in the best mindset and health that I can be. So, like I said, I hope this is helpful to you guys. I want you guys to comment and that kind of thing. You can share my content. You can look up prepping, different preppers, different news, and different things like that, and actually see what's going on and that kind of thing. Not buy into all the circus, and see what's going on in other countries. Not follow, not go along with that stuff, and then you won't be affected by that kind of stuff. So, alright, well, thank you guys for checking out the video. We'll see if there's going to be a part 2 here sometime soon. Alright, have a good day.